discussing it, and it's like this giant puzzle is coming together. So, all right, we have like 30 minutes left. How about each of us will put a question on the table. So, Emily, you had an idea that you wanted to put on the table that we
okay, and that's looking ahead to how we can form this consensus to actually make a difference, okay? And it seems to me that if we trade links with each other and start propagating each other's work, we're going to broaden the consensus. Particularly, I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on at Facebook. I've got my planetary image gallery there where I keep all my space photos. And I have my Anunnaki page where I keep anthropology and archaeology, and with the Anunnaki always on top, because their issues are our issues of hierarchy with occult metaphysics versus self-governance by the evolution of law. Those are the two lines of thought that are just always at odds and always on the front pages of the newspaper. Well, of course, we have to deal with deceit, with predatory elites, with parasitic industries that are just zapping the strength out of our people, like Monsanto and DynCorp and Blackwater. These companies that make their profits on creating problems for us to have to somehow climb over. So if we can trade links and trade pictures, I have been following Don Hall's pictures, and I'm not exactly certain what she's getting at, but that's okay. That's okay. She does wonderful work, and so does Jen Smythe. Take wonderful solar pictures, and every once in a while, one of them will turn up some just wonderful details. So I depend on photographers like Don Hall and Casper Friend and Carol Mack. And, there's Nathaniel Redman at the Lunar, LARS, L-A-R-S, Lunar Analysis Research Society. I can never remember. And, and as we trade our stuff, that helps us grow, and it helps us grow our networks, and the consensus will get bigger as we work at this. And
yes.
There's no quitting. This is for the duration. We are soldiers. We are soldiers in an information war. Right, Bob?
Wow.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, we have to do the job that so many departments of academic knowledge are letting slip. How come all of this information hasn't come out in UCLA anthropology, archaeology? Whoops.
Yep, and that's why my husband is picking up where he left off. And he couldn't do it if he was over there, actively in as a, professor emeritus at UCLA. They just wouldn't permit it. So here he is, here in Maui Wowie.
Oh, what a beautiful place.
On internet. And he may not have it 100%, but I'll tell you, he works on it. He gets up at 1 or 2 a.m., and he works on it for hours. He's 74 years old. And I go, what do you get up to late? He goes, well, that's when the Internet's the fastest, and nobody bothers me, and the phone doesn't ring, and you don't bother me. Because, I want to talk to him when we're back together. And then he says, and I just am so, he's so stoked just doing this research. And many of us are out here, we're just stoked. So I guess it's why we're in this paradigm, because we didn't have the apparent other who is like the enemy or something we have to overcome. We wouldn't be doing all this research, which is exciting us all. So I have to acknowledge my part in participating with this paradigm that exists. Is that for me, it's like a giant chess game or a poker game, and we're figuring out the puzzle. And anyway, so that I'm talking too much. But, okay, so did you have a question for us, or you just made a comment? Was there something?
Yeah, I'm just making a comment because the questions are all going to be about data. And so my question is, when can I get some of these links?
Well, I'm putting the links up here on, I have aquariumradio.com, and I put as many links here as possible. I make a page for each show. I make a bio for each researcher, contributor, author who comes on board.
Okay, you're going to help me with WordPress because I look at their system and I just don't know where to start. So let's, if you can help me do that, once I learn it, I'll do it very quickly. But I haven't been able to figure out where to even put my pretty right finger so far. I'm happy to help do that.
We can go on, and I will. I'm really good at. I used to be teaching people their software at Penn State University, so I'll take you through it.
Cool. All right, then I'll do that, so you don't have to worry about it.
Excellent.
Bob,
and
what's
Bob,
your
I want
site?
to stay with you. I'm going to give you author access, and then you can upload your pictures and all that stuff, and we'll start pumping it into the website even more, and that'll be a central place. You know, Facebook is great, but we've got to go to Facebook and to at least one, maybe even two websites we can have. I like doing websites. We can do, the different sub-sites as well, so we'll just figure it all out.
I have a website, scienfree.org, where I keep a lot of my space photos.
What's it called?
SCIEN free.org. And it's all just space photos, the different planets, moons, and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm missing the spelling, but I'll write to you later. Give me the link.
Okay.
I'll put that in under your bio so people can go, and I'll get your Facebook page. Put that under your bio as well. So
okay, Bob, and I need your link too.
It's starshipsaroundthesun.com.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, I'm on there, Robert H. Evans Jr. And my wife and I had a other Facebook page called Starships Around the Sun. Starships Around the Sun. But I haven't had any on there for a long time. Our computers were down, and it took me a long time to get everything working again.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, we keep picking up these little routines somehow that just slow everything down to a crawl on Facebook.
You know, there's another person you might want to keep in mind, one of the other prophets, prophet named Mother Shipton.
Oh, yes. I've heard of her.
Yeah, Mother Shipton lived almost the exact same time as Nostradamus. She was born several years ahead of him and died several years before him, before his death. And her stuff is just fantastic, all the way up until the end of the century, 2000 on. Anyone who knows anything about the names and the descriptions and stuff about polar shifts and geographical pole shifts and just from then on, she's right on it. So, okay, there's another guy that came, I forgot his name now. He took her writings and he really pushed them forward. So either
she
Mother
was burned at
Shipton,
the stake.
Yeah. Either she was false and he was the prophet using her name to tell the stories, or she was right and he was just the one that made money off her stuff after she was burned at the stake. So it's one or the other, because all the things, after she talks, it's just right down in the book of pole shift and everything. She's talking about lands that were under the sea, humans are now living on because tectonic plates have pushed one up, pushed the other one down. And then she also mentions that at a certain point, a silver ship comes to view and puts out men of like unknown. So she sees a alien ship of some type. There's men-like things that are completely unknown to anyone, so they look completely different. And she talks about this in there. And it's just a bunch of, and even Nostradamus, if you really go through his stuff, he talks about where the moon turns like black sackcloth. That's been put down several times when Nibiru was coming through, that there's a huge cloud of some type of grayish black fog that extends over all the lands, and people can barely breathe. It puts out torches and cook fires. Akhmos the First, after the Exodus, he, in his writings, said that black fog, which was mentioned in the Bible, it took almost several weeks for that to totally dissipate. Okay? Ash was falling from the sky. Several Hyksos researchers have found ash as when they went down low enough there in Avaris. But each time they research it, it gets filled back over above on top of it again, because the Egyptians don't want that stuff to be known.
So is this like written in stone, or is there a way that we can avoid this whole apocalyptic stuff that I don't like?
Well, it's a period of judgment, and populations get taken out and moved around under the Emerald Covenant. Now, I don't know if we can stop it this time, but maybe we can stop it the next time.
I think it is stopped right now.
I identify as Nima, and her promise after the flood was, as she said, I'm not going to let this happen again. And I'm holding her to it. and somehow my consciousness, and I'm holding her to it. And I had a download one time, and it's nothing I can prove. I'm just going to set that up. Nothing I can prove. But in this download, Nima appeared to me, and she said that she has 10 of these giant, I want to call them motherships, but they are living beings that are kind of like what do you call it, the jellyfish. They resemble jellyfish, and they're giant. They hold 1 billion life forms, like humanoid life forms, and all of their supporting environment, what they need, the housing and everything. And so she had 10 of them. And then another time she came back, another download, said, now I got 20. I know it's overkill, but we're going to be really prepared just in case. They have another plan on how to, move this planet around, so it's not going to be this disastrous pole shift thing. But this is plan B. Just in case it doesn't work, there's a mass evacuation. And I've had several messages of this end time, and I've had several messages. One time I was running, it was like a dream state, but how they're more than a dream and less than reality. So I was in this state, and I was running on top of the mountains, and I didn't have a cat at the time. I had a dog, but I had a cat in a carrier, and I'm running on top of the mountain. And I had to get to the top of the mountain so that I could rise up and kind of like the rapture, could rise up and meet with the ship or whatever. And as I was running, I said, well, wait, if I get up there, are you gonna save my family, the people I love? And I said, they said something, and I said, no, I'm not going to go unless you save everybody I love. And they said, okay, don't worry, we're going to take you and everybody you love. I said, well, good, because by the time this happens, I'm going to love every person on the planet. And that, I didn't know what the number was. And I said, that's going to be billions of people. And they said, yes. we'll take them all. So I've managed through my tantric practice, meditation, and my hypnotherapy and regression, everything I've been doing, that I'm in a state of samadhi, of unconditional love for all humanity. And I said, okay, now